Hello, if you want to watch exclusive lemon content on What If Naruto, then go to my Boosty. The first link in the description here contains such hot stories for adults, such as What If Naruto was a daddy for Sarada, or Kushina and Mikoto vulgar Naruto mommies. Follow the link and enjoy. I'm waiting for you.
I hope you are feeling very well. As you can see, here I leave you with a new chapter of this mother series. And without further ado, I have you with the video. Uzumaki, let's see if you are as incompetent as everyone says. Show us the substitution jutsu. Mora, with a sneer, adds, "Don't be too embarrassed, if that's even possible." Undeterred by his hostility, Naruto takes a deep breath and places his hands on the ReaperofBalance seal. A surge of green chakra surrounds him as he screams, "Kawarimi no jutsu." A cloud of smoke is produced, but to the amusement of the sensei, Naruto remains in the same place. Bando scoffs. Pathetic. It can't even disappear properly. Mora smiles and says, "Perhaps it is more suitable for cleaning tasks." Naruto, feeling the weight of his scorn, clenches his fists. Undeterred, Mora scoffs. "All right, show us those legendary clones of yours, Uzumaki. This should be good." Naruto, determined to redeem himself, quickly forms the three-hand seals for the Bunzen. A massive surge of green chakra envelops him, creating expectation. However, when the smoke clears, disappointment takes over. There is nothing but the remaining chakra and Naruto alone. Bando smiles sarcastically. "Clones are a basic skill, Uzumaki. Maybe too advanced for you." Mora adds, "I've seen genin little kids with better results. This is just sad." Naruto, who is now facing increased pressure, stares at his sensei. Despite the humiliation, a spark of determination shines in his eyes, indicating that he is not ready to give up yet. Bando smiles. It seems that the great Naruto Uzumaki can't even master the basic jutsus. What a disappointment. Mora adds with a mocking tone, "Maybe you should stick to the jokes, Naruto. The ninja life is clearly not for you." Naruto, his face burning with frustration and determination, clenches his fists. "Give me another chance. I can do it." Bando and Mora laugh mockingly, and their mockery resonates on the training ground. Bando scoffs. "You're a lost cause, Uzumaki. Maybe you should try your luck at the flower arranging club." Mora adds, "I have seen a greater ninja potential in a sleeping cat. This is just sad." Naruto, hurt by his words, clenches his fists, but determination shines in his eyes. He refuses to let his contempt define his path. Despite the harsh judgment, he mutters to himself, "I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to become a ninja, no matter what." Naruto, feeling the weight of failure, runs out of the classroom, his footsteps echoing in the empty hallways. He finds solace in his favorite swing, in a secluded part of the training ground. As he watches other children proudly walk out of the academy with freshly put-on hairbands and their parents congratulating them. A mixture of nostalgia and frustration fills Naruto's heart. In the distance, he hears fragments of congratulatory conversations. A father praises, "Our little ninja did very well." Another smiles proudly, "The future of our village is bright." Meanwhile, Naruto is sitting alone, without anyone noticing or celebrating him. Suddenly, an older student from the academy passes by over there and gives Naruto a look of disdain. It seems that Uzumaki failed again. What a joke. The words hurt him deeply, but Naruto remained firmly on the swing, his gaze fixed on the horizon. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves and Naruto whispers to himself, "He'll show them that I will become the best ninja this village has ever seen, and they won't be able to ignore me." The determination in her voice contrasts with the loneliness of the swing, creating a calm resolution amid the echoes of the celebration that can be heard in the distance. As the night progresses, Naruto remains on the swing, wrapped in loneliness. The moonlight casts a gloomy glow over the empty training ground, and the distant sounds of celebrating successful graduates turn into mere dry. Alone in his thoughts, Naruto contemplates his future. When the last glimmers of celebration disappear, Naruto finally decides to leave. As he takes a step, a sudden weight pulls him down, and he crashes to the ground. "What the hell?" he screams, frustration etched on his face. He takes off his ninja sandals, hoping to find an explanation to the strange response. Resistance. To his surprise, he discovers that his entire foot has turned to stone. Panic takes hold of him, and Naruto frantically examines him, running his fingers over the rigid surface. "No, no, this can't be happening," he mutters to himself, with disbelief and fear intertwined in his voice. The moon above his head seems to cast an unsettling light on his situation. Naruto, alone in the dark, realizes the gravity of the situation. He tries to stand up again, but is faced with the harsh reality that his foot is still frozen in stone. He collapses back on the ground. Naruto's eyes fill with tears, a mixture of frustration and despair. Feeling the weight of his situation, he channels his anger into a loud punch against the swing, shattering it into pieces. In the moonlit darkness, he picks up a considerable fragment of wood, with which he improvises a cane to support his faltering steps. Her voice shakes with a mixture of sadness and anger. "Damn, why me?" Naruto screams at night, the echoes of his frustration bouncing off the empty training ground. As he limps to the office, every step becomes a painful reminder of his new affliction. The improvised cane, although it provides him with support, does not help alleviate the emotional turmoil that is brewing inside him. As he approaches the Hokage's office, Naruto takes a deep breath, trying to pull himself together. With a determined but pained look, he mutters, "They have to know. Maybe they can do something about it." The silhouette of the Hokage tower looms over their heads, and Naruto advances, hoping to find answers. In the silent corridors of the village at night, as he makes his way to the Hokage tower, Naruto clings to the makeshift wooden staff. His determined footsteps resound in the silent corridors. Ignoring the secretary's attempt to stop him, he opens the imposing double doors of the Hokage's office. In his urgency, he stumbles and falls on his face. The doors slam open and reveal the third Kage behind his desk, diligently immersed in paperwork. "Hey, you have to do something," exclaims Naruto. His words come out of his mouth like a frantic mess. "I don't know what happened, but my right foot, I can't move it, and it's turned to stone." The third Kage, initially puzzled, looks up from his desk. "Naruto, boy, what do you say?" He starts, but stops when his gaze lands on the stone foot in front of him. The room fell into tense silence as the severity of Naruto's condition became apparent. The third Kage's expression changes from curiosity to concern as he runs towards Naruto. With quick but precise movements of the hand, he performs diagnostic exercises on the stone-covered foot, hoping to unravel the mystery of this unusual affliction. However, the jutsus do not give answers, leaving both Naruto and the third Kage in a state of uncertainty. Realizing the urgency of the situation, the third Kage makes a decisive decision. Without hesitation, he takes Naruto in his arms and, at full speed, jumps out of the open window of his office, leaving the papers and the tranquility of the room behind. At the Shinobi Hospital, the doctors quickly take over and guide Naruto to a specialized ward equipped for complex examinations. The room is filled with a variety of advanced medical equipment, each piece humming with chakra-infused precision. The air is antiseptic, and the gentle hum of the machinery creates an almost surreal atmosphere. Naruto is carefully placed on a medical bed, surrounded by attentive doctors. The third Kage is standing, his concern etched on his face. Doctors perform a series of tests, using advanced tools with jutsus to analyze the stone-covered foot. Days turn into weeks as the medical team works tirelessly to unravel the mystery. Throughout the process, Naruto undergoes a series of exams, both physical and chakra-based. The room becomes a hive of activity, filled with the hum of machines, the hushed conversations between medical staff, and the occasional sound of Naruto's frustrated exclamations. In moments of solitude, Naruto's mind is agitated with uncertainty about his future. While the doctors meticulously analyze every detail of his condition, the third Kage, who watches over Naruto's bed, remains a constant presence, determined to find a solution to this mysterious and debilitating affliction. After a week of exhaustive tests, the third Kage solemnly enters. In Naruto's room, his face full of unpleasant news. "Take a deep breath before you speak. We know what it is, Naruto, but unfortunately, there's no way we're going to reverse it. I'm sorry, boy, but with this condition, you can't be a boy. His voice resonates with genuine sadness. Naruto, devastated, feels the crushing weight of the world collapsing around him. The dreams I longed for so much are fading away. Panic takes over and he begins to hyperventilate. What's the matter? He manages to ask, his words trembling, and accentuated by the rapid rise and fall of his chest. The third Kage, with a feeling of regret in his eyes, sighs, taking off Okage's hat. You know about the chakra, the energy that we ninjas use for ninjutsu, genjutsu, forinjutsu and taijutsu. But there is another source already. It is called the natural chakra. It can't be controlled. Somehow, it was absorbed by your body, turning your foot into stone. There is no known method to purify natural energy that has already solidified. I'm sorry, he finishes, bowing his head. A heavy silence settles in. In the room, the only sounds are Naruto's erratic breathing and the distant hum of the medical team. The reality of the irreversible condition sets in, leaving Naruto dealing with the shattered fragments of his dreams. Naruto, his voice broken by sadness, asks a question that changes everything. What is forinjutsu? I've never heard of that, old man. The Hokage, despite the gloomy atmosphere, smiles slightly at Naruto's continued interest in the ninja arts. He sees an opportunity and comes up with a great idea. Forinjutsu, Naruto, is the art of sealing, explains the Hokage. By learning the different characters and matrices that make up a stamp, you can do things like seal an object on a scroll, or create an explosive stamp. In fact, the Uzumaki were known for their mastery of seals, adds the third Kage, Irizen. Which makes Naruto's eyes widen when he discovers that he has a clan. Hokage's smile widens as he sees a glimmer of hope in Naruto's eyes. Although traditional ninja techniques may be out of your reach, Fuinjutsu may be something you can specialize in. It is a powerful and versatile art, and who knows, you might even surpass the legends of the Uzumaki in this field. Naruto, who was feeling despondent at first, begins to feel a renewed sense of purpose. The prospect of mastering Forinjutsu becomes a beacon of hope in the midst of his shattered dreams. The Hokage, sensing Naruto's resistance, silently pledges his support for the young ninja's new path. The third Hokage avoids any questions Naruto has about his clan. If you want to know about them, look up the information yourself, firmly states. I won't give you the knowledge, but when you get discharged tomorrow, I'll bring you a beginner Fuinjutsu scroll in your apartment. And a more advanced scroll every month, he finishes, offering Naruto a chance to retrieve a sense of purpose. Naruto's eyes light up with excitement, his mouth practically drooling at the prospect of learning a new skill. You'll see, man. I'll learn how to use the seals, and I'll be so good that I won't need to walk. He shouts, feigning bravado, to hide the lingering disappointment. The third Kage can see through Naruto's attempt at bravado, but still gives him a warm smile. I believe in your potential, Naruto. Take advantage of this opportunity and, who knows, maybe you will redefine what it means to be a ninja. The Hokage encourages him, recognizing the resilience and determination of the young ninja in front of him. The third Hokage, with a reassuring gesture, disappears, leaving Naruto contemplating his new path. Alone in his thoughts, Naruto struggles with the stark reality of his inability to be a conventional ninja. The weight of unfulfilled dreams and disturbing nightmares of the Ninetales are churning inside him as he tries to sleep. The night is restless for Naruto, full of visions of monstrous chakra tales and resonant whispers of the Ninetales. Nightmares take over him, playing on his deepest fears and insecurities, a cruel reminder of the challenges he faces. When he wakes up the next day, with beads of sweat on his forehead, Naruto is relieved to find himself in the familiar but humble atmosphere of his apartment. The morning sun filters through the slits of the blinds and casts a warm glow on the worn furniture. Naruto rubs his eyes to get rid of sleep and notices a new addition to his Spartan living space: the Fuinjutsu scroll that occupies a prominent place on his table. His enthusiasm is rekindled when he eagerly takes it and unrolls the scroll to reveal the intricacies of the sealing arts. With a determined gleam in his eyes, Naruto sets out on a new journey, promising to master Fuinjutsu as a ray of hope after his shattered dreams. The third cage's faith in his potential becomes a driving force as Naruto begins to navigate the uncharted waters of this unique and challenging path. 2 months later, Naruto's apartment is engulfed in a cloud of black smoke, accompanied by a small explosion, as he performs another blow on his seal. Coughing, his face covered with soot and his clothes marked with burn stains, he mutters, "Another failed matrix." Undeterred by the mishap, Naruto towers over the 3 Fuinjutsu books he received from the third cage. Despite repeated setbacks, Naruto remains steadfast, determined to understand the intricacies of sealing scrolls. Undeterred, he sits down at his desk, takes out ink and a brush. With meticulous precision, he adds the correct characters, creating the intricate links necessary to activate the stamp. Satisfied, he says. Ready as he looks at the scroll with a scrutinizing eye. Now the rest, he says, drawing the matrix that is to be sealed with a location identifier, that is the scroll, along with an unsealing matrix indicating the space on the scroll for the item to be unsealed. Join those characters in an array to prevent the space from deteriorating or changing. Finished. Let's try it, Naruto declares with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. She places a precious package of ramen on the parchment and whispers prayers for her safety. Making the sign of the ram, he shouts, "Furwin." The room is enveloped in a gentle pulsating glow as the chakra filters through the carefully crafted seal. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, with a sudden glow, the ramen package disappears, leaving Naruto stunned and ecstatic. "I made it. The ramen is safe," he shouts, and a wide smile replaces the previous frustration. Naruto's persistence in mastering Fuinjutsu begins to bear fruit, and he opens a new chapter in his journey, as he delves into the delicate art of sealing with renewed confidence. Now, to test the opening, Naruto states, with palpable excitement. Forming the same signal with the hand and whispering Kai, he releases the chakra, and a subtle wave goes through the air. In an instant, the ramen package reappears, delicately placed right on top of the parchment. Naruto's eyes widen in amazement. A mixture of pride and disbelief fills his expression. "No way. It really worked," he exclaims, examining the ramen package perfectly. "Open." At that moment, a surge of confidence runs through Naruto's body. The countless failures and setbacks fade into the background when you realize the tangible progress you have made. The room, which was once filled with the residue of failed attempts, now glows with the subtle triumph of a budding Fuinjutsu master. With renewed determination, Naruto enthusiastically contemplates the possibilities offered by Fuinjutsu, a path he never anticipated, but which now unfolds before him with promising potential. The third cage's belief in Naruto's ability to redefine what it means to be a ninja seems less like a distant dream, and more like an achievable reality. It's been 6 months since Naruto successfully sealed the scroll. Immersed in his studies, he has become a kind of recluse who spends every waking moment delving into the intricacies of Fuinjutsu. His stone foot confines him inside, creating a silent space, where the creaking of the scrolls and the rubbing of the brushes against the scroll are the only sounds. In the small apartment, Naruto's eyes are fixed on the intricate diagrams of the seal of his essence pressure. He has been working on it meticulously, in the hope that this seal may contain the key to controlling the peculiar chakra of his right foot. With meticulous care, she finishes the stamp, double-checking each die for errors before applying it to her foot. As the seal of his essence pressure takes effect, Naruto feels a surge of satisfaction, believing that he could finally gain control over the problematic chakra. However, to his frustration, the strange chakra on his right foot remains intact. Disappointment grows inside him, and he can't contain his frustration, shouting, "Damn it." A year passes and Naruto, who is now 12 years old, has advanced in Fuinjutsu. He can create barrier seals for a single person, but his stone foot remains an unsolved mystery. The desperation in his eyes is palpable as he confronts the limitations of his abilities. The weight of frustration and determination etched on his young face. The apartment, once a sanctuary of study and hope, becomes a silent witness to Naruto's inner struggle. Driven by a renewed sense of determination, Naruto dives back into the Fuinjutsu books, in hopes of finding a solution to his persistent problem. As she turns the pages, she comes across chakra exercises aimed at improving chakra control. A spark of understanding is ignited within him, and a plan is formed in his mind. Naruto limps away with a makeshift cane and heads to the nearby forest. The imposing trees become his training ground as he tries to practice walking among the trees, a fundamental exercise to improve chakra control. With each step, he concentrates on channeling the chakra towards the soles of your feet, trying to mimic the gentle connection between your chakra and the surface of the tree. Every attempt ends in failure, and he feels the crushing weight of his breaking point. Naruto's chakra reacts violently, swirling around him like a storm. The air crackles with tension as his emotions manifest in the turbulent energy that surrounds him. In a fit of rage and despair, he throws his cane and fucks towards a tree. With a surge of anger, she kicks him with her stone foot, waiting for him familiar. His amazement feels the impact. Sensation runs through him, a marked change from the usual numbness. Naruto is frozen, absorbing the revelation that, for the first time, he could feel something through his stone foot. Motivated by a new determination, Naruto returns to the village, eager to explore more chakra exercises described in his Fuinjutsu books. Discover techniques such as walking on water, balancing with leaves, and meditating, each of which promises to improve your chakra control. The struggle persists as Naruto continues to struggle with the technique of walking through the trees. It takes him a month of tireless effort, stumbling and getting up, before he finally masters the techniques. Naruto happens to walk on water and spends 2 months practicing it. His efforts pay off as he finally masters the skill, and a subtle transformation takes place. The heel of his stone foot, which was pale and lifeless before, gradually regains its natural color, which shows the progress he has made. Armed with his knowledge of Fuinjutsu, Naruto delves into advanced techniques. The seal of endurance becomes a valuable ally, allowing you to overcome your physical limitations. In addition, the chakra weight seal is essential to increase both its speed and its chakra capacity. Naruto continues his training and limps back to the forest to meditate. In the secluded space of meditation, Naruto undergoes a transformative experience. As you deepen the connection with your chakra, your eyes, which were once blue, turn golden, a radiant shade that resonates with a newfound energy. The ethereal feeling of being in tune with the chakra of every shinobi in the village invades him. "Wow, what is this?" Naruto exclaims in amazement, his voice full of amazement and disbelief. The kaleidoscope of chakra signatures surrounds him, each one like a unique melody that contributes to the village symphony. As he stands up, Naruto's head is pounding from the flood of information. It's as if the whole village has opened up before him in a torrent of energy. In the midst of the mental whirlwind, he makes an amazing discovery. His stone foot, which was once an unshakable symbol of limitation, has returned to its usual color. Naruto's eyes fill with tears when he realizes that reality is like that. Her dream of becoming a girl, seemingly crushed by the relentless stone foot, is miraculously restored. He jumps up and down, physical and emotional release intertwined in a dance of unbridled joy. "Yada!" He screams with unbridled joy bubbling up from within. Naruto's golden eyes return to their usual blue hue as he runs towards the office of the Hokage. Driven by the excitement of showing off his groomed leg, he walks through the doors with unbridled enthusiasm, shouts, "Hiji!" And he jumps up, extending his leg to reveal the miraculous transformation. The Hokage, surprised by Naruto's exuberance, looks at the now healed leg with amazement. "What the hell happened, Naruto?" he asks with curiosity etched on his face. Naruto, who is about to burst with excitement, launches into an animated explanation. He recounts his journey, detailing the exhaustive study of Fuinjutsu, the difficulties with chakra control exercises, and the unexpected breakthrough during meditation. Naruto forgets that not everyone can feel the chakra, and his story unfolds with fervent gestures and a quick narration. The Hokage listens attentively, assimilating the incredible journey that led him to this unforeseen recovery. Fuinjutsu and chakra control exercises, you say? He ponders the Hokage, realizing the unconventional path Naruto has taken. Anxiously, Naruto interrupts his thoughts. Gigi, can I go back to the ninja academy? I want to be a ninja. A pause remains in the air before the Hokage responds. It's too late to enter the academy, Naruto. However, I can provide you with a tutor to hone your skills. If, in 1 year, you demonstrate the necessary skills, I will consider placing you in a reserve unit. The weight of the Hokage's words falls on Naruto, faced with the prospect of a year-long journey ahead. Determination shines in his eyes as he nods fervently. I will, Gigi. I will show you that I can be a great ninja. And so, an unconventional chapter for Naruto begins. A journey that is not defined by the typical academy path, but one in which resilience, unique skills, and an unwavering spirit forge a distinct destiny. Alba, who wears his sunglasses and has an air of cool composure, recognizes the mission with a gesture of loquage. He turns to Naruto, a hint of a wry smile on his lips as he introduces himself. I'm Alba, your instructor for the next 3 months. Naruto's eyes light up, an infectious enthusiasm emanates from him. As they walk towards Training Camp 3, Naruto eagerly follows Oba, bombarding him with questions. Hey, Alba-sensei, can you teach me some jutsu? Maybe some super cool moves? Naruto's enthusiasm is greeted with a laugh from Alba, who replies, Patience, Naruto. We'll get to that. Upon arriving at the training ground, Alba takes a look at the area. The sun casts long shadows on the uneven terrain. He turns to Naruto and, with a hint of mischief in his voice, declares, Our first lesson, Konoha Taijutsu. Naruto's eyes widen in anticipation. Alba begins with an elegant demonstration that shows the fluency of Konoha Taijutsu. It's not just about power, it's about precision and balance, he explains, and his movements reflect years of disciplined practice. Naruto, eager to emulate him, plunges into the exercises with unwavering determination. The training camp becomes a dynamic stage for the exchange of knowledge. Alba, with a mixture of stern guidance and occasional humor, corrects Naruto's postures and gives him information about the essence of Konoha Taijutsu. Your body is your weapon, Naruto. Feel the rhythm of the technique, he advises. Alba turns to look at Naruto, his sunglasses reflecting the determination in Naruto's eyes. The best way to practice taijutsu is with a willing partner. Come to me, he commands, a defiance evident in his voice. Naruto, full of enthusiasm, nods his head. All right, Alba-sensei. Get ready, he exclaims, brimming with energy as he takes a deep breath. The training ground becomes the stage for their impromptu combat. The air is heavy with expectation. Naruto is moving at full speed, his movements a mixture of enthusiasm and unrefined determination. Alba, calm and serene, maneuvers with grace, showing the delicacy of Konoha Taijutsu. The shock reverberates on the training pitch. Every punch, every kick, and every dodge carries the weight of instruction and learning. Alba, with a keen eye, offers guidance between exchanges. Good form, Naruto, but watch your balance, he advises, deflecting a punch with the ease that practice gives. Naruto, assimilating the information, adjusts his strategy with unwavering determination. Like that, Alba-sensei. Question, attempting a revised sequence. Alba nods his head in approval. Exactly? You're getting it. Taijutsu is based on adaptability and precision. Feel the rhythm of the fight. As the combat intensifies, the training ground transforms into a dynamic arena, where the mentor and the student participate in a combat dance and instruction. The air crackles with energy and Naruto, despite the physical effort, wears a wide smile. The joy of learning and the excitement of combat merge into a singular experience. In the midst of his exchanges, Alba imparts not only physical techniques, but also strategy lessons and the essence of taijutsu. The sun sets on the horizon and casts long shadows as the training session unfolds. A vivid depiction of growth, camaraderie, and creating a unique bond between teacher and student on the path to becoming a shinobi. A month later, Alba observes Naruto's progress over the course of a month, and the sun-drenched training camp witnesses the evolution of his dynamic, Satisfied with Naruto's mastery of the basic principles of taijutsu, Aoba considers it time to introduce a new facet of ninjutsu. Naruto, who is catching his breath after his training session, looks at Aoba with a mixture of curiosity and excitement. "What's next, Aoba-sensei?" he asks, anticipation coloring his words. Aoba, his sunglasses reflecting the flickering flames of the training ground, smiles. "It's time to try ninjutsu. Let's start with a basic fire-style technique. Fire bombs." Naruto's eyes widen with intrigue. "Fire style. Great. How do I do it?" Aoba, demonstrating the technique, forms the necessary manual seals precisely. Concentrate your chakra in the chest, and then release it while exhaling forcefully. It's all about control. As Aoba teaches Naruto the basics of fire-style fire bombs, anticipation and excitement dance in Naruto's eyes. He imitates Aoba's hand seals and, with a deep breath, releases his chakra. However, the result is far from basic. The green chakra, vibrant and powerful, arises from Naruto's mouth with an intensity that far exceeds Aoba's expectations. What was supposed to be controlled fire bombs transforms into a colossal fireball, engulfing the training ground in a brilliant display of green hell. Aoba, puzzled for a moment, recovers with a mocking smile. "Well, that's one way to make an entrance, Naruto. Your chakra is something special." Naruto, wide-eyed and a little surprised, observes the unexpected spectacle he has created. "Oops, I think I got a little carried away, Aoba-sensei. But it looks great, doesn't it?" Aoba chuckles. "Great, really. Your chakra is vibrant and powerful. Now, let's work on channeling that energy more precisely. Focus on controlling the size of the firebomb." Undeterred, Naruto takes Aoba's advice seriously. With determination etched on his face, he perfects the technique. Inhaling deeply, channel the green chakra more gently. This time, the resulting firebomb is a controlled explosion, which shows the progress he has made. Aoba nods his head in approval. "That's it, Naruto. Control is the key. Keep practicing, and you will master it." The training ground, once resplendent with the involuntary grandeur of Naruto's chakra, now witnesses a more refined display. A testimony of the unpredictable journey of a young ninja who learns to harness the extraordinary power within. After completing the ninjutsu training with Aoba, the training ground is now silent. Naruto takes a moment to absorb the lessons taught by his temporary mentor. Aoba, pleased with Naruto's progress, says goodbye to him, leaving Naruto to continue his training independently. With new abilities swirling around in his mind, Naruto decides to return home. However, when he takes a step, a cold feeling takes over his entire leg. Panic and fear overwhelm him as he looks down, only to discover that his worst fears have come true. The stone transformation has returned. Despair takes hold of Naruto, a great weight on his shoulders. The realization that this affliction could jeopardize his dream of becoming a shinobi after touches his determination. Alone, in the deserted training camp, Naruto faces the cruel twist of fate that threatens to destroy the progress he has made. A wave of frustration washes over him. Why now? He mutters to himself, clutching the stone-wrapped leg. Thoughts of exclusion and abandonment, echoes of past rejections, swirl in his mind. The shadows of doubt threaten to engulf him. The fear of not being able to control the stone curse casts a long and sinister shadow over his aspirations. In the silence of the training camp, Naruto finds himself alone, dealing not only with the physical pain of his stone leg, but also with the emotional turmoil that accompanies the uncertainty of his future as a shinobi. The journey that once felt exhilarating now takes an unforeseen turn, and Naruto must face the harsh reality that the path to becoming a ninja could be more treacherous than he ever imagined. Think, Naruto, think. This happened earlier, during the graduation exam. My chakra was out of control. Wait, that's it. Naruto adopts a meditative position in the quiet training camp. The echoes of Aoba's teachings still linger in his mind as he tries to control the flow of his chakra. The hours pass, the sun casts long shadows over the training ground, while Naruto goes deep into meditation. The struggle to control your chakra becomes a mental battlefield. Every breath is a hot effort to regain control. As the minutes turn into hours, Naruto feels a change inside him. Your concentration intensifies, and the swirl of chakra inside you gradually harmonizes. It is a delicate dance between mind and energy, a dance that Naruto is learning. Let's drive. In a moment that seems triumphant and surreal at the same time, Naruto witnesses how the stone transformation gradually moves away from his leg. The limb, which was once rigid and petrified, returns to its natural state, leaving Naruto in a state of amazement and understanding. He contemplates the revelation with a mixture of relief and understanding. So, it's chakra control. When out of sync, my limbs turn to stone, he mutters to himself, squinting as he thinks. The training camp, which once witnessed the struggles. From Naruto, it now becomes a space for introspection. The gravity of this new perception sets in and Naruto grapples with the implications. The same power that makes him unique, a vibrant and powerful green chakra, also carries the potential to become a destructive force that turns against him in moments of chaos. Determined to master this aspect of himself, Naruto stands up, his eyes reflecting a renewed sense of purpose. I won't let this stop me. I will control my chakra and become a shinobi, he declares to the silent training ground, the resonance of his conviction cutting through the air. The journey, fraught with challenges and self-discovery, takes a new turn as Naruto faces not only external adversaries, but also the intricate complexities of his own chakra. With each revelation, he gets closer and closer to the ninja he aspires to be, forging his path with resilience and unwavering determination. Naruto, sitting in a meditative posture, contemplates the enigma of his chakra. With deliberate concentration, he turns on his chakra and watches as the unbridled power cascades down his limbs, causing a gradual transformation into stone. The intricate dance of vibrant energy takes a sinister turn, and each surge contributes to the oncoming petrification. As the stone tentacles snake through his limbs, Naruto stands his ground, a determined gleam in his eyes. The experience, although unsettling, becomes a crucial experiment, a test of his new understanding. In the midst of this surreal spectacle, he begins to discern patterns within the chaos. The ebb and flow of his chakra dictates the rhythm of the stone's advance. I can't let him control me. I have to control him, Naruto mutters to himself, with an unwavering resolve, even when the stone encloses him. With all his concentration, Naruto redirects his attention and tries to master the rebellious chakra. It's a delicate process, akin to convincing a wild beast to submit. He imagines the chakra as a flowing river and guides it with precision and delicacy. The grip of the stone begins to loosen and recedes in response to the new harmony. A sense of triumph pervades Naruto as the stone is removed, leaving his limbs restored. The training ground, witness to this internal struggle, has an air of silent recognition. Naruto, catching his breath, is left contemplating the delicate balance between his unique chakra and the need for control. I have to master this, he reaffirms himself, feeling the weight of the challenge ahead of him. The training ground, once a canvas for combat and instruction, transforms into a crucible for self-discovery. A space where Naruto wrestles with the very essence of his power and the responsibility that comes with it. Naruto looks towards the center of the training ground as he slowly passes through the seals of the previous jutsus that Aoba-sensei and he taught her. The training camp is bursting with energy as Naruto unleashes a relentless barrage of fire-style firebombs. The vibrant green chakra dances around you, and each explosion is a testament to the wild power that is inside. However, in this display of untamed prowess, a subtle dance unfolds. The green chakra, a tempest of chaos and brilliance, fights off Naruto's attempts to control it. The flames flicker, reflecting the internal tug-of-war between control and chaos. Naruto frowns, and beads of sweat form as he takes on the double challenge. Come on, we have to find the right spot, he mutters to himself. His voice is a harsh tone that adds to the fiery spectacle. With each successive fire-style jutsu, the stone tentacles slowly advance backwards, threatening to envelop his limbs. It is a race against time, a battle that is fought not only with flames, but with the very essence of your chakra. While the green hell continues, Naruto tries his hardest. I won't let this define me. I control my chakra, not the other way around. He screams, and the resonance of his voice cuts through the explosive chaos. In a moment of desperate brilliance, Naruto harnesses the turbulence within and channels it into a powerful fire-style explosion. The flames intensify and become a vivid manifestation of his inner struggle. The ground beneath him trembles and the air vibrates with the force of his chakra. The stone's advance falters, a temporary retreat in the face of Naruto's unbridled determination. It is an impressive show, an intricate dance where each flame tells a story of resistance and indomitable will. Exhausted but elated, Naruto finds himself in the midst of the fiery aftermath. The stone, although persistent, is kept at bay by the sheer force of its spirit. In the quiet period after, he looks at his hands, with a mixture of pride and defiance in his eyes. I will master this wild chakra, no matter what it throws at me, Naruto declares, sitting down to meditate. Naruto, after channeling his wild green chakra, puts himself in a meditative state to restore balance. The revelation is presented to him. Successive jutsus not only harmonize his chaotic chakra, but also grant him an unexpected ability. The world around you comes alive with chakra signatures, which pulsate in unique rhythms within a 40-foot radius. 40 fort. This is amazing, Naruto whispers to himself, beads of sweat clinging to his face as he struggles to maintain this new awareness. The throbbing headache intensifies as a result of having exceeded his limits, but persists. Determined to explore this unexplored territory. As the cascade of chakra signatures overwhelms him, Naruto detects a faint but distinct presence nearby. Intrigued, he concentrates on the peculiar signature, a mixture of blandness with a subtle undertone of curiosity. It is a puzzle, a mystery woven into the chakra structure that surrounds it. Who's there? Naruto shouts, his voice breaking through the trees. The tension is evident. The chakra signals ripple in response to your question. A few moments pass, and, just before Naruto releases the extended consciousness, he feels a small chakra signal nearby. Surprised but curious, he allows the normalcy of his senses to return. Hey, why were you looking at me? Naruto's voice echoes through the trees, a mixture of annoyance and curiosity. The response is quick when a figure emerges from the tree line. A boy of his age, dressed in an ambo-style outfit, and with a little something tied on his back. Naruto looks at the newcomer with suspicion. Who are you? He asks with a hint of suspicion in his tone. The pale-faced individual, who is revealed to be Sa, sports a fake smile, and an enigmatic aura surrounds him. Sa calmly responds, "Call me Sa. I was curious about your chakra. It's quite unique." The words, uttered with an air of nonchalance, deepen the surrounding mystery. This unexpected meeting. Naruto squints, feeling that Sai is hiding something more than it seems. Curious, huh? Well, don't spy on people like that. It's creepy, she replies, the cautious tension floating in the air as she waits for Sai's response. Sa, with a bigger fake smile, answers casually. Sure, of course, dwarf. Naruto, unable to ignore the blow, explodes. I'm not a dwarf. I'm still growing up. Don't insult me. Sa, apparently confused, comments, insult. Aren't nicknames a way to make friends and make people feel comfortable? Naruto, completely perplexed by Sai's unconventional approach, lets his guard down completely. You're a freak, he declares, pointing his finger with complete confidence. Do you want to be my friend? Naruto continues, with a big smile that breaks the tension. Sai, still surprised by Naruto's sudden change of attitude, seems completely perplexed. Maybe, he replies before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. I have to learn that now, Naruto says to himself, a smile spreading by his face as he contemplates the strange encounter. Naruto continues to train well into the night, determined to get better. The soft glow of twilight bathes Konoha as Naruto, deep in thought, heads home. His steps have a rhythmic cadence that echoes contemplation, that swirls in his mind. When she enters her apartment, the air is filled with a sense of purpose, the kind that accompanies newfound understanding. Sitting at his modest table, Naruto pulls out a worn-out notebook, the pages of which are a canvas for his flourishing ideas. He jot down seal concepts, imagining a way to tap into his wild green chakra. Perhaps a device similar to a sealing scroll, he muses aloud, while his pen dances on the paper. I could extract a certain amount of chakra, which would allow me to focus on balance and release it. In case of emergency. The handwritten words solidify her determination, a tangible manifestation of her quest for control. The days go by, the pages of the notebook are filled with intricate designs and calculations. Naruto frowns from concentration. His room is a refuge for creativity. Chakra points, he mutters, realizing the missing piece. I need to understand them. The prospect of a visit to the library is approaching, prompting an audible groan from Naruto. The search for knowledge, although essential, is not without moments of reluctance. While thinking about putting on his outfit to go to the library, a sudden revelation hits him like lightning. Training with Aoba-sensei. Naruto exclaims, and his apartment resonates with urgency. He hurries, a whirlwind of movement, slipping into his ninja gear with efficiency. Practiced. With the sandals secured, the tools in place, he runs out of his apartment, jumping from roof to roof. The village, spread out at its feet, unfolds like a living tapestry, and the rooftops offer a familiar path to Training Camp 3. The setting sun casts long shadows that tint the village in orange and red tones. Naruto's journey is a mixture of determination and haste, and the landscape becomes blurred as he speeds towards his meeting point. When he arrives at the training ground, his breathing quickens. A mixture of effort and enthusiasm. Aoba-sensei. I'm here. Naruto screams, the words accentuated by the beating of his heart. The setting sun cast a warm glow over the training ground as Naruto confidently threw the shurikens at the targets. However, his confidence was shattered when only 2 of the 10 hit the target. Shame invaded him, and a blush came over his cheeks. Aoba-sensei, always perceptive, approached with an complicit smile. Naruto, remember, all ninjas have different strengths. That's why we train, to improve ourselves, he gently chided. His words were a soothing balm for Naruto's wounded pride. Determined not to let this setback define him, Naruto nodded at the weight of Aoba-sensei's wisdom and sank down. Let's try it again, he suggested. He kiroed to Obe-sensei, pointing out the remaining shurikens. As Naruto prepared for another launch, Aobe-sensei's watchful eyes observed every nuance of his form. Adjust your grip slightly and focus on the trajectory, he ordered Obe-sensei, his voice a firm guide amid Naruto's inner turmoil. The training camp became a melting pot of determination and mentoring. Naruto absorbed the guidance, the silent breath, and, with a renewed sense of purpose, cast the shurikens once more. The metal blades flew through the air, guided by the refined technique he had imparted to Oba-sensei. This time, more than to found their targets, and Aobe-sensei's nod of approval resonated louder than any metalon would strike. As the day grew darker and turned into night, Aobe-sensei kept instructing Naruto to cast the shurikens over and over again. The metallic slashes of the projectiles through the air echoed along with Aoba-sensei's instructions until Naruto, driven by determination, threw them until his limbs ached and fatigue clung to every fiber of his being. Under the light of the setting sun, the training ground became a haven for perseverance and growth. Naruto, with beads of sweat on his forehead and dirty clothes, collapsed on the floor. Aoba-sensei was standing next to him, a silhouette against the darkening horizon. Tomorrow we will practice wrestling and throwing kunai, he told Oba-sensei. He gave Naruto a reassuring pat on the shoulder, acknowledging the effort. You did well today, he added, his words had the weight of recognition. Naruto, catching his breath, looked up at the sky full of stars. The tiredness in his limbs was overshadowed by a sense of accomplishment, and the bond that was forming with his mentor felt like the creation of something profound. The disappearance of Aoba-sensei's silhouette marked the end of the training session, leaving Naruto with warm feelings of camaraderie and mentoring. The evening enveloped the training ground, a serene backdrop for the echoes of determination and the promise of tomorrow's challenges. The sun was slowly rising into the sky, casting a warm glow over the training ground as Naruto returned, eager to enter the world of kunai fighting and throwing. Aoba-sensei, the keeper of knowledge, took two kunai out of his bag, threw one at Naruto's feet, and assumed a posture with the other in his hand. Today I'm going to show you how to incorporate kunai into Konoha's taijutsu style, Aoba-sensei announced. It reflects my stance, Naruto, he continued, meticulously examining Naruto's form and making quick corrections to ensure accuracy. Attack me with all your abilities, he ordered Obe-sensei, and Naruto, driven by determination, let out a battle cry. A resounding osu that resonated throughout the field of training. He attacked a flurry of movements guided by Aobe-sensei's teachings. Naruto launched himself to throw a circular kick, but Aoba-sensei, agile as a shadow, effortlessly dodged it. Without missing a beat, Naruto turned to throw a backhand lunge, aiming at his mentor. Aoba-sensei skillfully blocked the attack with his kunai, creating sparks that lit up the intensity of the training. Move firm one movement to the next, and don't hesitate to use your kunai to attack the exposed limbs, Aoba told her with precise and deliberate movements. He hit Naruto's calf and thigh with the ring of his cradle, and, leaving him with bruises that spoke of the rigorous training. "Oh," Naruto said, wincing and jumping on one foot. "You're fast," he exclaimed, pointing out the impressive speed of his sensei. "Attack again." Aobe-sensei's order boomed out and Naruto, kunai in hand, lunged forward. His attack was aimed at Aobe-sensei's midsection, a quick and direct attack. Aobe-sensei, however, dodged the attack with remarkable agility. The fabric of his bulletproof vest creaked as he dodged it. A swift counterattack followed. Aoba-sensei's kunai headed horizontally towards Naruto's exposed flank. Naruto, anticipating the movement, executed an agile backflip, narrowly avoiding the blade that cut the air where he had just been. A wave of movements was triggered. Naruto, now on the offensive, launched a series of quick punches, each aimed at Aoba-sensei's defenses. Aoba-sensei, always the vigilant mentor, stopped the attacks with calculated precision. The sound of metal colliding with metal echoed throughout the training ground. A daring move by Naruto. A feigned attack to the left by Aobe-sensei, followed by a quick turn and a lunge to the right. Aobe-sensei, experienced and insightful, deflected the attack with a twist of his wrist, redirecting Naruto's momentum. Naruto jumped back, creating space. "You should try to use the tree exercise to close the distance." Naruto pumped chakra through his feet and then ran towards Aoba-sensei at full speed, briefly disappearing, which caused Aoba's eyes to open briefly. "He's fast for his age." He reappeared before his sensei's left, attempting to attack with his kumar, and only to realize that he was moving much faster than he could control. "Shiriri." He let go of Naruto, falling to the ground, eating grass and dirt, while rolling around gracelessly. He is already learning how to use the chakra to improve his body on his own. He will be a strong shinobi with that creativity. "Not bad, Naruto, if you can control that speed, who knows how far you will go," he said to Obe-sensei as he twirled his kunai in his hand. Now he looked up to see the sun setting on the horizon. "We are done with today's training. We will finish with Bukijutsu this month and move on to Genjutsu next month," he said, receiving a sensei and muffled thanks from the Kasugenin, who was currently eating grass and dirty. Aoba-sensei extended a hand to help Naruto up off the ground, and a subtle nod of approval accompanied the gesture. "Rest up, Naruto. We've talked a lot today," he advised her, acknowledging the wear and tear the training had caused on the aspiring ninja. While Naruto was pulling himself together, Obe-sensei was offered some parting advice. "Remember, the path to becoming a shinobi is challenging, but every step forward is progress. Genjutsu will bring its own set of challenges, so be prepared." Naruto, although fatigued, had a determined expression. "I'll be ready, sensei. Thanks for today." With that, Aoba-sensei disappeared into a shunshin, leaving Naruto pondering the day's lessons. The training ground, now bathed in the soft hues of twilight, witnessed the ongoing transformation of a young ninja in formation. Full of energy. As Naruto returned home, Thoughts swirled in his mind. The moonlit village felt serene, a stark contrast to the energetic fighting of the day. He contemplated the challenges that awaited him, both in mastering genjutsu and in overcoming the mysterious condition of his foot. When he entered his apartment, he found the notebook full of ideas for stamps. With renewed determination, he decided to delve into the chakra points and refine his understanding of the intricate web that is inside the human body. The library was waiting for him, a repository of knowledge that could unravel the mysteries. Mysteries I was looking to conquer. The days passed in a whirlwind of study, training, and introspection. Naruto's connection with Aoba-sensei deepened. The experienced ninja became not only a mentor, but a guide through the intricacies of the shinobi world. The night before the start of genjutsu training, Naruto sat on his windowsill, contemplating the starry sky. Thoughts about the stone foot and the potential to master the chakra swirled in his mind. The dream of becoming a respected ninja, once shattered, now shone with a flame. Renovated. Determined, Naruto whispered to himself, "I'll get through everything. No matter what stands in my way, I will make my dream come true." What I didn't know is that the journey ahead of me presented not only challenges, but also the promise of growth, camaraderie, and the development of a yet-to-be-written destination. The next morning came, and brought with it the expectation of new challenges. Naruto, driven by a sense of purpose, headed to the training ground where Obe-sensei was waiting for him. "Today we will delve into genjutsu," Aoba-sensei announced, revealing a variety of scrolls containing illusions and deceptive techniques. The air seemed to thicken with the promise of mystery as Naruto absorbed the knowledge. While Aoba-sensei guided him through the basics, Naruto found himself navigating the realm of illusions. Shadows darted around him, and echoes of made-up sounds whispered in his ears. It was a mental battlefield, a radical change from the physicality of the previous training. Aoba-sensei, observing Naruto's progress, encouraged him. "Genjutsu requires mental strength. Concentrate your chakra, Naruto, and remember that illusion is a weapon in itself." The day was spent with Naruto perfecting his ability to recognize and dispel illusions. Aoba-sensei's patient guidance guided him through the subtle intricacies of genjutsu. And every step forward was a triumph over the illusions he sought. Fool him. As the sun set on the horizon, Naruto, though mentally fatigued, felt a new sense of accomplishment. Aoba-sensei acknowledged their efforts. "You're adjusting well, Naruto. Genjutsu is a subtle art, but with practice, you will handle it as skillfully as any weapon." The training camp, now enveloped in the shades of twilight, witnessed another chapter in Naruto's growth. The dream of becoming a ninja was evolving, shaped by every lesson, every challenge, and the unbreakable spirit of a young shinobi. The training ground, bathed in the soft glow of the setting sun, became the canvas where the lesson unfolded. Aoba-sensei, his silhouette defined by the warm hues of twilight, began instructing Naruto in a range of genjutsu designed to subtly manipulate perception. Genjutsu is not just about illusions. It's about controlling what others perceive, Aoba explained, as his hands wove intricate seals. Each movement had a purpose, a symphony of chakra manipulation. "Watch carefully, Naruto." As Aoba launched the genjutsu, a subtle distortion spread through the air. The scene around Naruto shimmered, creating a slight disorientation. Aoba's voice echoed, "This is the power of a well-executed genjutsu. A tool to deceive without direct confrontation." Naruto, with his eyes focused, absorbed the demonstration. Aoba, taking on the role of instructor, explained the hand seals, emphasizing the importance of accuracy. The training ground, marked by a scattering of leaves and the distant hum of nature, provided the backdrop for this immersive lesson. "Now, Naruto, it's your turn," Aoba urged him, handing over the responsibility. Naruto imitated the hand seals, with initially hesitant movements. Aoba watched, offering guidance with every gesture. The genjutsu took shape, but mastering the delicate art of infecting. With his chakra, it turned out to be a challenge. Aoba's patient instruction continued. "Feel the flow of your chakra, Naruto. It's like guiding a river. If it is too strong, it overflows. If it is too weak, it withers. Balance is the key. Naruto, with beads of sweat forming on his forehead, persisted in his attempts. The genjutsu responded, albeit inconsistently, while Aoba gave him feedback. Again, copy that. Aoba-sensei initiated Naruto into the intricate dance of hand seals that made up Nutsuro Noxaku, the enigmatic chakra infusion. Each seal resonated with the anticipation of unseen forces, a testament to the delicate balance needed to manipulate the chakra and reality itself. Naruto, guided by Aoba's instructions, wove the seals with determination. Now, Naruto, feel the essence of your chakra intertwining with the fabric of perception. Let it be a dance of influence. Aoba's voice conveyed encouragement and curiosity. Once the final seal was executed, Naruto's green chakra emerged and infiltrated Aoba's senses. Aoba, with his perception momentarily blurred, witnessed the subtle change in reality when the trajectory of the throne rock seemed to be altered by a meter. Aoba chuckled, impressed by Naruto's progress. Well done, Naruto. You have changed my perception. Now, let's explore the limits of this technique further. Naruto was excited as he assimilated Aoba's response. Infiltrating perceptions is like painting with chakra. This genjutsu thing is hard. Aoba-sensei watched patiently, his sunglasses reflecting the brightness of the moon as he offered guidance. It's a challenge, Naruto. The synergy of illusions demands delicacy. Concentrate on the hand seals, feel the ebb and flow of the chakra between them. Naruto gritted his teeth, and the green chakra flickered erratically. The failed attempts scattered like fallen leaves all around him. This is hard, Aoba-sensei. Everything gets tangled up. Aoba nodded his head, understanding. Genjutsu is a complex art. The key is to harmonize, not force. Imagine them as threads that are intertwined in a delicate tapestry, each of which contributes to the depth of the illusion. The night dragged on, marked by Naruto's determined perseverance. Gradually, the threads began to align, and the illusions merged into a perfect dance. A flash of satisfaction crossed the face of Nao. You're getting the point, Naruto. Now, let's refine this illusion even more. Last month of training, Aoba remained with his arms crossed at the training camp while heading to Naruto. Our 3 months are about to end. We will work to refine everything you know to prepare you for the realities of the shinobi world. Naruto got sad after hearing that he had gotten along with Aoba as one of the few people who were kind to him. Aoba felt that this offered him a challenge. If you can deal me a blow, I will be available to train with you until you decide to retire, she finished staring at him. Let's do it to Aoba-sensei. All right, then get started. Naruto pumped chakra through his legs and ran to the left as he finished the manual seal for the fire bombs he unleashed on his sensei. The bombs exploded and created a lot of dust and dirt. Aoba quickly closed the distance, connecting a hack, a circle kick, a muke kick, and a spinning backhand. Before he could successfully create space, Aoba stood his ground, his expertise evident in every calculated move. Naruto, bruised and beaten, assessed the severity of the situation. Aoba's statement, delivered with a calmness that belied the intensity of the impending confrontation, was suspended in midair. Gathering every ounce of determination, Naruto initiated a rapid sequence of hand seals. Summoning the firebomb fire-style jutsu once more, the miniature hells rushed towards Aoba, who dodged the fiery attack with fluidity and grace, getting closer and closer to Naruto. Aoba's response was quick, a circular kick that Naruto anticipated, but failed to dodge completely. The force of the blow propelled him backwards, and the impact reverberated in his body. As he gasped, Naruto's resistance boosted his determination. Undeterred, Naruto sprang into action and brandished a kuna, and with determination. Aoba, unflappable, faced the attack head-on and blocked it accurately. In a sword dance, Naruto advanced hard, aiming at Aoba's thigh, but was quickly dodged. A kuna and responded, forcing Naruto to jump backwards to get a strategic space. Seizing the moment, Naruto initiated the hand seals for the fire bomb once again, but this time with a tactical twist. The training ground became a canvas for his ingenuity when fire bombs exploded surrounding Aoba. The billowing smoke served as a layer, momentarily obscuring the vision of now. Inside the engulfed battlefield, Naruto pumps a tremendous amount of green chakra into his legs, which causes it to disappear. He ran around the smoke permissive, getting pre-written them. Then, he quickly activated a barrier of his pressure, momentarily immobilizing Aoba. The stunned silence was shattered by Aoba's rapid resurgence, breaking the barrier with an agility that said a lot about his dexterity. Amidst Naruto's shock, Aoba's calm revelation echoed in the air. I was the bodyguard of the 4 Hokage. The revelation added weight to the workout, elevating it beyond a mere clash of techniques. As the life-or-death battle unfolded, each move had a special meaning, and Aoba's instructions became a beacon for Naruto's growth. The training camp witnessed a confrontation between mentor and Protege, every moment charged with emotion, creativity, and the unwavering pursuit of perfection. Chapter 2. After the grueling battle, Naruto, adorned with dark purple knickers that testified to his endurance, was left panting on the well-worn training ground. Tears adorned his tattered clothes, and the scattered kunai and shurikens bore witness to the intense struggle that had broken out. Aoba-sensei, sheathing his kunai, approached Naruto with a solemn recognition of the hard-won victory. "Are you ready?" he declared, pride ringing in his voice. Naruto, too exhausted to form words, responded with a triumphant smile and a faint thumbs up, a silent testament to the journey he had been on. With a gentle nod, Aoba-sensei acknowledged the profound growth Naruto had achieved in the crucible of combat. The training ground, a battlefield of determination and resilience, now housed the echoes of their shared struggle. Naruto succumbed to fatigue and collapsed backwards, splashing on the ground and sliding into the embrace of unconsciousness. The training camp, marked by the ebb and flow of his intense training, witnessed the transformative journey Naruto had undertaken. Under the guidance of Aoba-sensei, Aoba picked up the unconscious Naruto. "I'm so proud of how much you've grown," he said, disappearing with a puff of smoke. A month later, Naruto went to the library to research about chakra points. He was running through the center of the main village, but he tripped and collided with something that let out a scream. Both fell to the ground in a mass of limbs. Naruto sat down, and white eyes blinked back at him. "Oh, I ran into a blind person. It's Naruto-kun," she thought, and kills to herself, and in an instant, her face turned as red as a tomato. Don't faint, that was his mantra repeated in his mind. "Sorry, blind person," Naruto said before running in the direction of the library. "He's actually talking to me," Hinata screamed in her mind, before becoming sad as he realized he had left her behind in a cloud of dust. As Naruto hurried towards the library, his encounter with Hinata remained in his thoughts. "Man, those blind people should be really careful," he said loudly as he quickened his pace towards the library. Meanwhile, Hinata, still on the ground, was caught between embarrassment and admiration for Naruto's energetic presence. "It's been so long since I've seen him." And Hinata thought, "I wonder what he's been up to." "Stop it. The library," she murmured, following him, definitely not stalking him. In the library, Naruto delved into the intricacies of chakra points and absorbed the knowledge with fervor. What he didn't know is that his collision with Hinata had left a lasting impression on the shy, white-eyed girl. Days later, while Naruto was looking through scrolls on chakra manipulation, he noticed Hinata timidly approaching. Her voice, soft but determined, reached him. "A Naruto-kun, can I study with you?" Surprised and distrustful, Naruto looked at her with narrowed eyes. "How are you going to help me study? Are you blind?" And Hinata was confused, but glad that he was talking to her. "I'm not blind. I'm part of the Yuga clan. Our eyes allow us to see chakra and chakra points. That's great. Now I'm studying the chakra points so I can create seals by touching people using the chakra of my limbs. But I can't understand any of that," Naruto replied while rubbing the back of his neck with a big smile. Hinata felt an atomic blush erupt on her face at the thought of helping Naruto. "Can I help you?" "My name is Hinata," she forced herself to say, pulling a seat closer to her side and unrolling a scroll of the clan over the chakra points, for both of them to study. As Naruto and Jimata delved into the scrolls in the library, their worlds intertwined in a shared quest for knowledge. Imada's gentle guidance on chakra points complemented Naruto's fervent enthusiasm for the subject. The days turned into weeks, and their study sessions turned into moments of camaraderie. Naruto's boisterous energy and Hinata's calm determination created an unexpected harmony, fostering a connection that went beyond the pages of the scrolls. One day, while delving into the intricacies of chakra manipulation, Naruto looked at Hinata with genuine gratitude. "Thank you, Hinata. I never thought studying could be so much fun." Hinata, with a look that reflected a new confidence, smiled shyly. "I'm glad I could help, Naruto-kun." 6 months later, when Naruto stood in front of the Hokage, his eyes reflected a journey of determination and growth. The scars of training, acquired knowledge, and formed friendships converged at this crucial moment. The third Kage watched Naruto closely, recognizing the progress of both his shinobi skills and his fuinjutsu experience. "Uzumaki Naruto, you've come a long way. Your dedication to mastering various elements and perfecting your skills is commendable." Naruto, full of confidence, replied, "Thank you, Hokage Jiji. I have been working hard to become a shinobi that you would be proud of." The Hokage, observing Naruto's growth in height and muscle mass, decided to put his skills to the test. "Naruto, let's see you master your skills too. Your opponent for this assessment is me." Naruto, although he was surprised at first, couldn't help but smile broadly. The third Kage approached Naruto and put a hand on his shoulder as they disappeared in a swirl of leaves. They showed up at Training Camp 7. And Ruzan moved a little away from Naruto, creating space between them. "It begins," he shouted, starting the game. Naruto immediately reached into both ninja bags strapped to each side of his body and grabbed a handful of Kyuna and Shuriken. He threw the Shuriken straight into the air, confusing the Hokage, who dodged and ducked to continue with the Kyuna, and only to see a Kyuna Y on the ground at his feet, emitting a very small chakra signal. "Let's see what he has planned here," he thought to himself, pretending not to notice. The Shuriken in the air started spinning twice before swerving towards the Kyuna and at his feet. He took a step back to dodge them, but felt the heat of 2 fireballs on his back. He jumped up and dodged the fireballs. "I got you," Naruto shouted as he used more hand seals from the remaining third Hokages. Water-style water ball. 2 water balls of the D-rank jutsu came out of his mouth in the direction of the Hokage in the air. The Hokage ignited his chakra by scattering the water balls that rippled over his cloak, filling him with a feeling of heaviness. Naruto fell to his knees and opened his eyes wide in disbelief. Is this the power of Jiji? The third Kage just smiled at him while he recovered his chakra. "Well done, creative use of jutsu to corner your opponent. Show me your taijutsu," he ordered, still standing indifferently and with both arms behind his back. Naruto switched to Konoha's taijutsu style, receiving an approving nod from the Hokage before pumping his green chakra to his legs and reappearing to the left of the Hokage, throwing a leg hook at the Hokage. He blew with a light wind from his mouth, forcing Naruto to back off. Very well, he is able to use his green chakra to improve his normal speed. "You never cease to impress me, Naruto," he thinks to himself as he detects the chakra intermingling with his chakra system, causing him to see 2 fists attacking his throat and chest. He instantly breaks the genjutsu by jumping and landing on Naruto's arm in one perfect movement. "All right, I see you've spent a lot of time on chakra control. Of course, Jiji, I won't let my green chakra defeat me. I'll beat him into submission." Naruto advances and throws 3 punches at the Hokage's vital points, which are blocked with his raised knee. Naruto throws a fake hook that turns into a spinning kick that is dodged. Naruto jumps forward and turns to give a stomp that is dodged. He went to get the ninja tools when the Hokage raised a hand and put an end to the evaluation. Impressed, the Hokage finally spoke. "Your progress is remarkable, Naruto. You have demonstrated competence not only in the shinobi arts. You've earned your place in the reserve forces." Naruto's eyes shone with gratitude and determination. "Thank you, Hokage Jiji. I will not disappoint you." "We'll come to my office to check you in," he said as he walked up to Naruto and put a hand on his shoulder. They disappeared in a swirl of leaves and reappeared in the office of the Hokage. Walking over to his desk, he pulled out a headband with leaves and threw it at Naruto. He placed the registration form on his desk. "Fill out these forms, and then go get an official photograph taken. Tomorrow you will report to the missions office to be assigned a mission." The reserves work differently from traditional graduate teams. You will be assigned as per need for any mission that may occur. You can leave now. He finished the third Hokage, taking out his pipe to light it. Naruto tied the headband to his forehead. "I promise you, I will be the best Hokage that has ever existed or will exist. I'll take that hat off." Naruto spoke with such conviction that he surprised the Hokage, who smiled back at him. He headed to the other offices to finish his ninja registration. When Naruto left the Hokage office, he headed home to finish preparations for tomorrow. When he got home, he came in and went to his small table where he kept his Fuinjutsu notes. He sat down, took out paper and ink that he bought with his savings, and began to prepare the stamps. If I make 5 hand seals to help focus my chakra, I can print the gravity seal for 5 seconds. That's not enough, he said out loud. I need more chakra control exercises. It's not too late anymore, I need my energy for tomorrow. The next day, Naruto headed to the mission office to perform a mission as a new genin. He jumps from one roof to another in a very good mood and with a huge smile on his face. When he reached the tower, he jumped up and went to the mission office. Once at the mission office, he introduced himself to 2 Chunin ninjas in charge of the missions. They looked him up and down knowing who he was, and they didn't like him being in their presence. One of the Chunin, who was already dealing with a rank mission that needed support, sat down and stared at Naruto intently. "Just in time, we have a mission for you. There was a prison break to the east of the village. Your job is to help the Chunin and the 3 genin subdue the escaping criminals." Naruto, with a spark of excitement, accepted the mission. "Sounds like a challenge. I'm ready to lend a hand." The Chunin, not particularly excited to have Naruto on board, handed him a scroll with details about the prison break and the possible locations where the escaped criminals might be. Naruto walked out of the mission office. He couldn't shake the disapproving stares of the Chunin. However, he was still determined to prove his worth as a valuable asset for the trip to the east of the village. Was full of anticipation. Naruto's thoughts were racing between the excitement of his first mission and the responsibility that came with it. When we arrived at the place, the scene was chaotic. The Chunin and genin who were at the place were trying to arrest the criminals. Criminals who had escaped and scattered in different directions. Naruto quickly assessed the situation and joined them. In the intense confrontation with the escaped prisoners, Naruto's first adversary was an agile criminal expert in evading attacks. Naruto launched a powerful kick, circling to the criminal's waist, but the agile enemy deftly moved away, causing Naruto's kick to connect with nothing but air. Taking advantage of the opportunity, the criminal responded with a quick blow to Naruto's ribs, which provoked a grunt of pain. Determined, Naruto untied a branch. Rapid sequence of blows aimed at the criminal's upper body. Each blow struck with a satisfying thud, eliciting grunts of discomfort from his opponent. However, the tough and cunning criminal countered with a quick knee strike to Naruto's abdomen, knocking him out of breath for a moment. Undeterred, Naruto tapped into his green chakra to increase his speed and agility. He executed a spinning kick that hit the criminal's shoulder and made him fall to the ground. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Naruto quickly incapacitated the opponent with a precise blow on a pressure point, leaving him temporarily immobilized. As the battle continued, Naruto was confronted by another adversary, armed with giant shurikens. Dodging a barrage of projectiles, he retaliated by performing a series of hand seals, wind-style air bubble, conjuring a gust of wind to deflect the approaching shuriken. However, a particularly sharp projectile grazed his cheek and left a small cut. In response, Naruto closed the distance and engaged the criminal wielding the giant shuriken in hand-to-hand combat. His punches and kicks were aimed at his liver and kidneys, which made the enemy cross his arms over his lower torso to protect himself, interrupting the criminal's movements. Despite Naruto's strategic attacks, another criminal managed to counterattack with a well-placed kick to Naruto's side, which caused him to crash into a tree. "I got you, Brad. Now he dies," shouted the first criminal, falling on Naruto's body with the shuriken through it. "Faggot, an impaled log, split in two." "Damn, a substitution," the other criminal told his partner. Flame bombs, fire style. A dozen incendiary bombs fell from the sky, killing both criminals. As more fugitive criminals approached, Naruto's hands moved in a series of hand seals, and his green chakra flickered in a threatening manner. "Get ready to test my arsenal," he declared. The first criminal lunged forward with a fierce slash, aiming at Naruto's midsection. Naruto dodged the attack with blinding speed, fighting back with a series of quick punches. "Ah!" he screamed. The force of his blows created a cyclone that made the criminal stagger. Undeterred, another criminal unleashed a volley of shuriken. Naruto concentrated his chakra and made his way through the deadly rain. "Wind style. Air bubble," he shouted, conjuring a gust of wind that deflected the shells. As the criminals closed in, Naruto turned to his green chakra again. A vibrant aura enveloped him, enhancing his agility. "Leaf gale palm," he shouted, delivering a powerful blow with his palm that caused the attackers to fall to the ground. "They're just a bunch of thugs," Naruto declared, his eyes alight with determination. The remaining criminals, filled with anger, attacked Naruto with renewed ferocity. In response, Naruto executed a series of hand seals. "Water style. Swirl," he screamed, creating a whirlpool of water that trapped several criminals, leaving them incapacitated. The battle continued. Naruto perfectly combined taijutsu and ninjutsu. "Style of fire. Fire bombs," he shouted, unleashing a torrent of fire that forced the criminals to retreat. "You're not getting out of here alive." One of the criminals snapped, bloodied but determined. Naruto, undeterred by the threats, smiled confidently. "Earth style, stone barricade," announced, conjuring up a sturdy barrier that protected him from an imminent attack. The intensity of the combat increased as Naruto continued to show off his growing jutsu repertoire. And each move provoked a mixture of awe and fear on the part of the criminals. The night resonated with the clash of techniques, a testament to Naruto's determination to protect the village and prove that he was a formidable force in the shinobi reserve ranks. The genin and chunin assigned to the mission site watched Naruto's intense jutsu demonstration with a mixture of surprise and disdain. Their initial hopes of failure began to falter when Naruto's abilities proved to be more formidable than they expected. "Is he really accomplishing this?" he whispered one genin to another, his eyes wide with disbelief. The chunin, who at first doubted Naruto's capabilities, watched the battle with a grudging respect. "Well, maybe it's not as useless as I thought," the chunin grudgingly muttered. Naruto, surrounded by the defeated criminals, kept his concentration. However, the chunin could not put aside their disdain. "He's still a show-off," one chunin commented, crossing his arms and frowning. When Naruto finished overpowering the last criminal, he turned to the team watching them. "They should have intervened earlier. Teamwork is crucial," he advised with a hint of frustration in his voice. The chunin and the genin exchanged glances, realizing that Naruto's performance had exceeded their expectations. It was a bitter pill to swallow to acknowledge his competence. Naruto, undeterred by his silent disapproval, approached the chunin in charge. "Mission accomplished. What's next?" he asked, eager for the next challenge. The chunin, reluctantly impressed, handed Naruto another quest scroll. "There is a disturbance outside the village. Take care of it," the chunin ordered, acknowledging Naruto's success with a nod. As Naruto was heading towards the new mission, the team watching him exchanged uneasy glances. The story they had crafted about Naruto's incompetence seemed to fall apart with every successful move he made. They were left wondering if the seemingly impossible had happened, if Naruto Uzumaki had really become a skilled and capable shinobi. As Naruto made his way into the outskirts of the village, The unrest among the observing team persisted. They couldn't deny the effectiveness of Naruto's abilities in the previous encounter. The realization that he might not be the clumsy fool they assumed was hard to accept. Meanwhile, Naruto, driven by the success of his first mission, approached the scene of the incident with determination. On the outskirts, a group of rebellious ninjas was wreaking havoc. One of them, a burly figure with a menacing look, took a step forward. Well, what do we have here? Another child sent to stop us. The rebel ninja sneered, watching Naruto with a smile. Mocking smile. Naruto, undeterred, replied with a confident smile. Just because he's a kid doesn't mean he can't run the business. Get ready. They are dealing with a ninja of a completely different level. As the confrontation escalated, Naruto quickly sprang into action. He took a handful of Kushina and Shurikens and threw them at the ninja, who cut through the air with precision. The rogue barely dodged them. His surprise was obvious. The Chunin and Genin, who had followed Naruto, watched in disbelief as he deftly coped. Rebellious ninja. The once hopeful wish that Naruto would fail was now transformed into reluctant admiration. Naruto, without giving in, infused green chakra into his limbs, which improved his speed and strength. He launched a barrage of taijutsu punches, aiming for punto, depression and vital areas. Every punch and kick landed with calculated precision, leaving the rebel ninja on the defensive. The Chunin in charge couldn't help but acknowledge the change in perspective. Perhaps we underestimated him, he muttered, reluctantly impressed. As the battle escalated, Naruto noticed a subtle change in the rebel ninja's tactics. The enemy, desperate to change the course of the situation, activated a unique jutsu, the shadow binding technique. Dark tentacles emerged from the rebel's silhouette, reaching out towards Naruto with the intention of immobilizing him. Naruto, quick on his feet, jumped back, narrowly avoiding the approaching shadows. Shadow jutsu, huh? Not bad, he commented, analyzing the situation. The Chunin and Genin, upon witnessing Naruto's adaptability, began to question their overlaps. Starting positions. Naruto launched himself against an unruly ninja. His quick circular kick was aimed at the criminal's middle zone, but the opponent dodged it with a quick sidestep and counterattacked with a direct blow to Naruto's ribs. Naruto took a step back, but did not flinch, and responded with a quick series of punches aimed at the criminal's upper body. Each blow hit with a satisfying thud, prompting grunts of discomfort. However, the tough rebel ninja counterattacked with a knee to Naruto's abdomen, knocking him out of breath for a moment. Naruto jumped back, creating space, forming the sign of the ram. He concentrated on extracting his green chakra to increase his speed. He disappeared and reappeared next to the rebel ninja, executing a spinning kick that connected with the criminal's shoulder, sending him to the ground. Naruto took advantage of the opportunity, immobilizing the opponent with a precise blow on a pressure point. Meanwhile, a genin named Anna joined the fight against two other ninjas. Water-style, torrential surge. He hid water from his mouth, creating a deluge that hit both ninjas, knocking them down and tied the ground around him. Another genin, Ryu, appeared in front of the fallen ninjas. Lightning style. Thunder binding. Shooting lightning bolts through the wet ground. The electrified surface stunned both ninjas. The Chunin, named Kenta, noticed the tactical advantage and decided to stick with his specialty. He shouted, "Style of fire, frenzy of embers." Small balls of fire shot out quickly. One rebel ninja dodged them, but the other could not escape and was lost in the fire. "To hell with the leaf, and to hell with you brats," the rebel ninja screamed as he ran through the hand seals. Style of fire. Fireball jutsu. Disperse. Anna shouted at the genin. Naruto and Ryu jumped into the trees, dodging the fireball. Naruto took a paper stamp from his bag and wrapped it around a kunai, throwing it at the ninja. Libera, the ninja, saw the kunai and prepared to dodge it when his speed quadrupled and impaled him on the leg. Naruto shouted, "Anna, Ryu, use your combination again." Anna made hand seals for the torrential surge, while Ryu synchronized his lightning with his attack, electrocuting the rebel ninja to death. Exhausted but victorious, Naruto looked at his companions. "Come on. Teamwork is the key." How did your crib move so fast and… I didn't see any manual seals, Kenta asked with Anna nodding in the background, while Ryu just tilted his head to show that he was paying attention. Naruto smiled broadly, reached into his bag, and pulled out a huge stack of pre-prepared stamp labels. Stamps. Specifically, a gravity seal. The eyes of the team were opened wide. Seals were the most difficult shinobi discipline to learn. Kenta, catching his breath, added, "You have potential, Naruto. Maybe we misjudged you." Anna smiled and held out a hand. "Hi, I'm Anna. The aquatic style is my thing. You defended yourself well, Naruto." Ryu nodded. "I'm Ryu. User of the lightning style. That combined attack of ours wasn't bad at all, huh?" Kenta, with a mocking smile, intervened. "Kenta. Expert in fire style. I guess you're not as annoying as I thought, Uzumaki." Naruto, still smiling, replied, "I appreciate it, Anna, Ryu, Kenta. Teamwork, right. Let's go back and report." The team returned to the village, and, as they were approaching the mission office, Naruto turned to the group. "Thank you for supporting me. We make a good team." Anna nodded. "No problem, Naruto. We are all here to do the job." Inside the mission office, the Chunin in charge acknowledged his return. "Good job, team. Looks like they handled the situation well." Naruto smiled. "Yes, we take care of those runaway prisoners. Teamwork, right." The Chunin, though not overly enthusiastic, nodded his head in approval. "You did your part, Uzumaki. Mission accomplished." As they were leaving the mission office, Anna slapped Naruto on the shoulder. "Not bad for being your first mission. Maybe you'll make it as a shinobi after all." Ryu chuckled. "Yeah, I guess so. Let's see what missions are waiting for us next." Kenta, still maintaining a certain level of skepticism, simply said, "We'll see, Uzumaki. We'll see." A Chunin runner appeared in front of them as they were leaving the office. "Is this the 111th Squadron and Uzumaki Naruto?" A brown-eyed, long-haired, brown-haired shinobi wearing a Chunin vest asked him. "I am the one and only Uzumaki Naruto. But who is Squad 11? He asked, crossing his arms. "We are," the team he helped responded immediately. "Commander Chunin wants to see you all. Please report to his office immediately," she said before disappearing into a swirl of leaves. After introducing themselves, the team was summoned before Chief Chunin to perform other tasks. When they entered the office, the atmosphere was a mixture of formality and expectation. Chief Chunin, an experienced ninja named Shibata, looked at each member of the squad. "Good job on the prison escape mission. We have more work ahead of us. However, the 111th Squad currently has one less member, and we need to fill that gap." Naruto raised an eyebrow, curious about what would come next. Shibata continued, "Given your performance today, Uzumaki, I will assign you to the 111th Squadron. 11. You will join Anna, Ryu and Kenta on their missions. Consider this an opportunity to prove yourself." Naruto, always eager, nodded. "Of course. I will give everything." Anna, maintaining her professionalism, made a subtle nod of approval to Naruto. Ryu smiled. "Looks like we have a new teammate." Kenta, still reserved, commented, "Just don't stop us, Uzumaki." With their new lineup established, the 111th Squad left Chief Chunin's office, ready to face the challenges that awaited them. After the briefing about the mission, Naruto, Anna, Ryu and Kenta decided to relax at Ichiraku's ramen stand. The warm aroma of ramen filled the air as they took their seats, ready for a well-deserved relaxation. Naruto smiled, slurping his noodles enthusiastically. "Man, this is the best. There's nothing like a plate of ramen after a difficult mission." Anna, while sipping her miso soup, nodded her head. "You're not wrong, Naruto. It's a squadron tradition to come here after missions." Ryu, with a cheeky smile, intervened. "So, Naruto, tell us more about yourself. What's your story?" Naruto, between bites, began to share fragments of his journey, from his intense training with Aoba-sensei to his recent foray into Furuinjutsu. "I am determined to become the strongest ninja, and Furinjutsu is my ticket to mastering chakra control." Kenta, concentrating on his ramen, added, "For Inutsu, huh? It's not a bad choice. Everyone has their own specialty. I am an expert in fire jutsu, burning my enemies." Ryu laughed, "And I'm the tracker of the group. No one can hide from me." Anna, smiling, said, "I specialize in medical jutsu. Keeping the team in one piece is my job." As they continued to chat and share stories, a camaraderie began to form. The bond between 111 Squadron grew stronger with every shared laugh and personal revelation. After finishing eating, Naruto said goodbye to his new teammates. "Thanks for the ramen and for letting me join your team. I will not disappoint you." Back home, Naruto felt a sense of purpose. He sat down at his small table, surrounded by scrolls and sealing materials. With a deep breath, he concentrated on experimenting with his chakra, trying to feel the subtle energies that surrounded him. It was a challenging task, but Naruto was determined to overcome your limits and unlock new abilities. Naruto, driven by curiosity, began experimenting with the chakra storage seal. He carefully placed the seal on a small and unwary creature, an unsuspecting rabbit that was nibbling on the grass near his house. As soon as the seal made contact with the creature's fur, an eerie transformation took place. The chakra, once absorbed by the seal, caused the rabbit's fur to stand on end. His eyes opened with anguish, and a strange glow emanated from his body. Naruto, surprised by the unexpected reaction, watched in horror as the rabbit's form twisted and transformed into a grotesque manifestation of the chakra itself. The once innocent creature transformed into a spectral being, a swirling mass of ethereal energy. Distorted sounds echoed from his form, creating an eerie atmosphere. Naruto, realizing the gravity of the situation, tried to dispel the seal, but it stubbornly clung to the creature. In a panic, Naruto desperately tried to make different hand gestures, trying to find a solution. The rabbit infused with chakra, now a disturbing entity, emitted an unearthly shriek that sent shivers down Naruto's spine. In a last-ditch attempt to correct his mistake, Naruto summoned up the courage to channel his own chakra into the seal, hoping to stabilize the creature. The air crackled with energy as he poured his own life force into the seal, gradually calming the distorted chakra. Exhausted and emotionally shocked, Naruto collapsed on the ground as the once spectral rabbit returned to his normal state. Undeterred by the initial setbacks, Naruto persisted in perfecting the chakra storage seal by experimenting on various wild animals. Each attempt brought with it its own challenges, but with each failure, he gained valuable information. One afternoon, Naruto observed a group of birds perched on a nearby branch. Determined to test his evolutionary stamp, he approached cautiously. With a concentrated intention, he applied the seal to a bird's wing, hoping to tap into its chakra without causing it harm. The first attempts proved unsuccessful, as the birds fluttered away without anyone being affected. However, Naruto analyzed the results and made subtle adjustments to the seal. He observed the birds from a distance and noticed any changes in their behavior. As the days passed, Naruto's persistence paid off. A small sparrow, marked with the chakra storage seal, exhibited controlled bursts of enhanced flight. While it wasn't perfect, it was a significant breakthrough. Emboldened by this breakthrough, Naruto continued with his experiments. Frogs, squirrels, and even a stray cat became the subjects of his plans. Evidence. Each instance brought with it new challenges that required adjustments to the seal configuration. Thanks to these efforts, Naruto not only perfected the chakra storage seal, but also deepened his understanding of how chakra interacted with different species. The learning process, although challenging, fueled his determination to master Furuin Jutsu. Naruto spent his evenings studying scrolls, comparing notes, and drawing new stamp designs. The rooftop of her apartment became a haven for contemplation, with the moonlight illuminating her determined expression. Kenta, the experienced leader of the Shonen squad, met up with Anna and Ryu, Naruto's genin companions, at Naruto's apartment. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as Kenta unfolded a mission scroll, ready to explain the details. "All right, team, we have a crucial mission," Kenta began with a serious tone. "Intel reports a major threat in the Land of Fire. There is a large bandit camp led by a dangerous renegade ninja. Our task is to eliminate the threat and secure the area." Naruto's eyes opened with a mixture of surprise and determination. "Bandit extermination, huh? I am ready for the challenge. Let's get rid of them." Anna, always analytical, added, "The camp is well fortified, and the renegade ninja is not an easy rival. We will need a solid strategy to succeed." Ryu, the silent but strong presence, nodded his head. "We attacked fast, hit hard, and left no place to escape. They won't know he hit them." Kenta nodded, satisfied with the team's concentration. "Fine. We will leave at dawn." "Naruto, your Furuinjutsu skills could be a game changer. We need your creativity. Do you think you can handle it?" Naruto, eager to prove his worth, replied, "Of course. I've been working on some new stamps that might give us a head start. Let's make sure those bandits regret crossing our path." As the team delved into the details of the mission, a sense of shared purpose emerged. The bandit extermination mission was waiting, and Naruto, together with his experienced comrades, accepted the challenges that awaited them in the dense forests of the Land of Fire. "All right, team, get out, except for Naruto, since we're in his apartment. Pack up and get ready for the duration of the mission, which may be 2 weeks," Chunin Kenta stated, receiving nods of recognition. Following Kenta's orders, the team dispersed to pack up and prepare for the bandit extermination mission. Naruto, Anna, and Ryu went their separate ways to gather supplies and make sure they were ready for the upcoming challenges. 2 hours later, they met again at the East Gate, where Kenta was already waiting for them. Katezu and Izumo, the vigilant guardians, supervised the details of the match with their usual chatter. "Another day, another mission. Guys, be careful out there," Katezu said with a smile. Izumo intervened. "Yeah, don't let those bandits cause you too much trouble. Or do it, it makes the paperwork more interesting." Kenta, with a wry smile, replied, "We will try not to make your paperwork too exciting." After a relaxed exchange of words, the team set off, jumping from tree to tree with the ease that practice gives. As the dense foliage blurred beneath them, Kenta outlined his reconnaissance plan before launching the attack. "All right, team, we need to gather some information first. Anna, use your tracking skills to locate the bandits' camp. Ryu, be on the lookout for any traps or ambushes. Naruto, your clones will help you with stealth and surveillance. Once we have enough information, we will attack. Any questions?" Naruto, ready for action, replied, "There are no questions here. Let's do it." With determination in their eyes, 111 Squadron flew through the treetops. His mission took place in the dense nature of the Country of Fire. The extermination of the bandits was waiting for them, and each member of the team was prepared to contribute their unique skills to ensure success. "The first stop is the last village attacked by the bandits," Kenta said. "Are there any survivors to talk to?" Anna asked with a worried expression. There were no details on the mission scroll about the survivors. "What is the secret of bandits, Captain?" Ryu asked as Naruto remained silent with his fist clenched as his anger increased. The team continued to jump through the thick foil, for fear of the trees deep in the Country of Fire, heading east towards the village of Kusano. Their starting point, Kusano, was wiped out by the bandits. Using the information obtained from the reports, the team set out to follow the trail left by the marauders. The village provided a starting context, and from there, Ryu would interpret the basic tracking signals to bring them closer to the bandit. When they reached the outskirts of the village, Kenta directed the team's attention to the signs left by the bandits. "Ryu, keep an eye out for any alterations in the foliage, footprints, or other indicators. Anna, get ready for possible ambushes with your water jutsu. Naruto, stay alert." Ryu, with a concentrated expression, began to analyze the traces they left behind. Looks like they headed east. There's a clear trail we can follow. Kenta nodded her head in approval. Naruto, Anna, are there any survivors? Not without a captain. It's okay, Ryu. Let's go out, but be careful. Bandits may have scouts or traps along the way. The 111th Squad advanced through the dense forest, following the subtle signals that Ryu deftly identified. The journey had just begun, and the real test awaited them as they moved deeper into the desert, tracking the bandits' elusive camp. The team reached the edge of the ravine and observed the huge bandit camp spread out below. Kenta, after assessing the situation, formulated a reconnaissance plan. The ravine offered a strategic advantage, as it allowed the team to observe potential ambush points on both sides of the sprawling camp. All right, 111 Squadron, we'll split into 2 teams for reconnaissance, Kenta ordered. Ryu and Naruto, you guys take the north side. Anna and I will cover the south. Stay in communication and report any significant findings. Our target is the missing ninja who leads the camp. Neutralize him and we can disrupt the bandits' operation. Kenta gave you a small radio, which ensured smooth communication between the 2 teams. The northern team, consisting of you and Naruto, used their wall climbing technique to descend the steep slope in silence. The terrain was a maze of rocky outcrops and thick foliage, which provided a natural cover for their approach. The forest was brimming with vibrant shades of green, and the air was permeated with the rich aroma of pine. Ryu, the skillful tracker, moved through the undergrowth with an eye to visor, while Naruto, always attentive, scanned the surroundings for any signs of danger. The rhythmic sound of a waterfall echoed in the distance, contributing to the serenity of the wooded landscape. On the south side, Kenta and Anna faced similar challenges while traversing the uneven terrain. The southern edge of the ravine offered a different perspective, revealing possible weaknesses and entry points. Anna, using her water jutsu, enveloped herself and Kenta in a subtle mist, which improved her stealth. The fog provided cover for them as they approached the camp, obscuring their approach. The communication between the 2 teams was carried out smoothly through the radio. They exchanged information about the movements of the bandits, the possible positions of the guards, and the arrangement of the camp. The ravine, a theater of the greatness of nature, set the stage for a strategic confrontation between the 111 Squadron and the horde of bandits. As Kenta and Anna watched from the southern observation point, the figure of the missing ninja emerged from the heart of the bandit camp. Kenta quickly grabbed his bingo book and flipped through its pages until he identified the missing C-rank ninja, Nara Shinai, a name known for his treachery and treachery. With the new information, Kenta discreetly radioed Ryu and Naruto to inform them of the important discovery. Ryu, Naruto, we've identified the missing ninja leader. He's Narashinai, a C-rank criminal from Konoha. Today is our last day of recognition. Be careful and gather all the information you can. We will meet at the top of the ravine at dusk. Ryu recognized the message and instructed Naruto to adjust his strategy. The northern team, aware of what was at stake, moved with increased vigilance, stealthily navigating the treacherous terrain, while watching Shina's movements and inside the camp. As the day wore on, the teams continued to gather information, taking note of guard rotations, possible weaknesses in the camp's defenses, and Shima's and other bandits' interactions. The forest, full of sounds of nature, hid in its depths the silent dance between shinobi and bandit. The setting sun cast long shadows over the ravine as the teams completed their reconnaissance, each member acutely aware of the impending encounter. The last day of observation had brought them closer to unraveling the mysteries surrounding the bandit camp and its enigmatic leader. Under the cover of night, the team gathered at the top of the ravine, with determined faces. Kenta took the initiative in the discussion. His experience and knowledge guided the strategic planning. All right, team. We have gathered crucial information about the bandit camp and identified its leader, Nara Shinai. As a missing ninja, he poses a major threat. We need a plan to neutralize him without alerting the entire camp, Kenta stated, as he glared at the faces of his companions. Of equipment, Anna, with her skill in water jutsu, spoke, "I can create a layer of fog to hide our approach. It will give us the advantage of surprise and mask our movements." Naruto, eager to contribute, stepped in. "I can use a variety of jutsu of range of each element, and Furinjutsu with my green chakra to create distractions and chaos. In addition, I will place Furinjutsu traps around the bandit camp to prevent them from escaping." Ryu, the skillful tracker, added, "We have observed weak points in their defenses. If we calculate the time correctly, we can exploit these vulnerabilities during the confusion caused by fog and distraction maneuvers." Kenta nodded, acknowledging his input. "Fine. This is the plan. Anna, create the fog to cover us, and Ryu, guide us to Shinai's location. Naruto, deploy your game. And place Fuinjutsu traps strategically. Once we isolate Shinai, I will confront him directly. Remember, accuracy is crucial. We can't afford any mistakes." While Anna conjured fog to hide her movements, the team descended the ravine with Ryu in the lead. The air was heavy with tension as they approached the bandits' camp, each step calculated and deliberate. In the middle of the fog, Naruto unleashed his arsenal of jutsus of rank of, creating distractions that attracted the attention of the bandits. At the same time, he carefully placed Fuinjutsu traps around the perimeter of the camp, making sure the escape routes were blocked. Ryugyur led the team towards Shinai's location, skillfully navigating the terrain. Kenta, getting ready to face the missing ninja, spoke in a low and firm voice. "Stay focused, everyone. Once we locate Shinai, prepare to act quickly. This is our chance to dismantle the bandit threat and protect our village." The team moved as one, the shadows merging with the night and their shared purpose. It echoed in the stillness. As they neared the heart of the bandit camp, echoes of their whispered strategy floated in the air, setting the stage for a confrontation that would determine the fate of the impending threat. The team, shrouded in the darkness of the night, moved like ghosts through the bandits' camp. Each member, with a cot end in his hand, entered the bandits' tents with expert precision, finishing off the sleeping criminals quickly and quietly. The only sound that echoed in the stillness of the night was the rustling of leaves and the occasional exchange of signals between the team members. Naruto, using his experience in Fuinjutsu, strategically placed traps around the perimeter of the camp, making sure that any escape attempts were intercepted by a barrier of chakra-infused seals. The bandits remained oblivious to the impending threat as the team systematically reduced their numbers. As the night progressed, the team's moves were a choreography of lethal effectiveness, blending in with the shadows after each successful elimination. The camp, which had once been filled with the sounds of bandits, was now plunged into an eerie silence, disturbed only by the occasional gust of wind. The mission, born out of the need to protect the village, progressed with meticulous and ruthless execution. As the team continued to neutralize the bandits one by one, tension floated in the air, a palpable force that oppressed the bandit camp like an invisible shroud. Nara Shinai, an experienced renegade ninja, was moving restlessly inside his tent, his senses on high alert. An eerie aura permeated the night, whispering about imminent danger. Unbeknownst to Shina, half of their bandit camp had already fallen silent. Their lives had been extinguished by quick and ruthless hands. The 111th Squadron had infiltrated the camp with lethal precision. When Shinai came out of his tent, frowning in a sign of contemplation, a shadow entered the tent gracefully, and soon a crimson cloud burst that painted the night with the lifeblood of another bandit. Shinai's instincts, sharpened after years of bloodshed and survival, kicked in. He threw a fireball into the air, setting off the alarms, and destroying the tranquility of the camp. The remaining bandits, suddenly awakened, stood up with their faces torn apart by fear and uncertainty. The 111th Squad materialized before Narashina, and their presence was in stark contrast to that of the panicked bandits. Kenta, the squad leader, moved to confront Nara. His eyes were burning with determination, but he found himself face to face not only with Shinai, but also with two formidable renegade ninjas, Kurukire, a B-ranked young female from the cloud, and Akimichi Tetsuya, a huge renegade ninja from rank C. Ryu, Kenta ordered, his voice echoing with authority. Join me in facing Kurukire. Anna, face Akimichi Tetsuya. Naruto, Nara Shina, and it's yours. For now, leave the bandits with your Fuinjutsu traps. The team sprang into action, and each member faced his designated opponent with steely determination. The ensuing confrontation transformed the bandit camp into a tempestuous battlefield. A symphony of jutsu, steel, and unwavering determination. Kenta and Ryu moved like a blurry cloud as they attacked Kurukire, the Cloud Girl. His blows were quick and precise, each one aimed with the lethal intention of beheading. Ryu anticipated his every move, dodging his punches. Angry Dragon. Kenta shouted as he threw a kyune, wrapped in a multitude of explosive flowing tags. The kyune was spinning while exhaling, while reaching for the Cloud Honey, who made a single hand seal before disappearing in a lightning bolt. Fire style, fire bombs. Naruto exclaimed as he finished his hand seals, spitting fireballs towards the dangerous Nara. Water style, water trumpet. Anna shouted, her hands forming seals as she spat out high-density water, and encouraged Kimichi Tetsuya. Earth style. Jutsu earth wall. Shinai replied. His hands hit the ground, causing an earthen wall to rise up in front of him. Tetsuya took the opportunity presented to him to jump behind the Shinai wall and dodge the water trumpet. Naruto's fire bombs explode with a loud bang, destroying and melting the wall at the same time. Anna gestured to Naruto, who started running towards the demolished wall as she started to make a series of extremely long hand stamps. She finished them when Naruto was about a meter away from the wall. Water style. Water Dragon Jutsu. Using the water from his previous jutsu, a large water dragon rose up from the ground to soar over the barrier. Naruto jumped on the water dragon's back and ran towards it as it crashed into the wall, destroying it and scattering the enemies in two different directions. Seeing Nara Shinai rolling on the ground from the attack, Naruto saw him throwing 3 kunai that landed around him in a triangle. Let go! He screamed, landing in front of him. Shinai tried to get up, but gravity pressed him to the ground. Hugo, a gravity seal of a child, growled using all his strength to put his hands together and make the rat hand seal. Shadow sewing jutsu. He muttered, and the shadow tentacles slowly moved around his body before reaching each of the kunai. Shadow's tentacles grabbed each of the handles before throwing the kuna and freeing him from the gravity seals. Just as Naruto appeared kicking up dust, he placed himself on Shinai's guard and threw 2 punches that impacted his kidneys, bending him. Then transitioned to a circular kick that knocked him to the ground. Naruto was going to press the attack when his whole body stopped. Damn it! Why can't I move? Naruto shouted, fighting the technique. Finally, you are a nuisance. Narashina and rose from his place on earth. And Naruto followed his every move. Shina and reached for a kuna, and Naruto was forced to copy it. No. I won't let you. Naruto turned on his chakra, trying to figure out how to undo the jutsu. He could feel his chakra starting to deplete quickly. Shimai finally took a kunai out of his bag and moved to throw it when he realized he couldn't move. Confused, he looked at his hand and was surprised to see it encased in stone. What is this? He tried to mumble while his entire body was encased in stone, freeing Naruto from his jutsu. Naruto, with the sweat running down his face, looked at his opponent with a worried look. That really would have been the end of me. I've improved faster. He bowed to his enemy in the hope of never sharing his fate before rushing to help his squad. Naruto quickly passed by the remains of the destroyed wall, where water was still visible. He continued with the sound of metal colliding with metal. When he reached the edge of the ravine, he saw Anna, who was very injured, being hit by the Kimichi's big hand. He reached into the bag on his left side and pulled out a label of seal that tied to another kunai. Let's hope this works out. He threw his kunai and hit Tetsuya deeply on the right shoulder. Liberation? He shouted, activating the seal tag. The effect was immediate. The Kimichi's large hand shrank back to normal and he fell to his knees exhausted. My chakra, what have you done with my chakra? He roared, but was silent when Anna appeared behind him with a useless right arm hanging at his side and a huge cut on his forehead. He pulled out a crib and slit his throat to silence him. "Naruto, I owe you a huge bowl of ramen," he said, smiling cheerfully. Naruto went to respond when a body crashed next to them, forming a small crater. "Konoha Standard Training 5. Anna shouted. "Roger that." They disappeared, reforming Kuna, and one after another in the hand of Anna and Naruto, holding a hand seal. Just as a seriously injured Ryu, without an ear and with cuts all over his face, appeared kneeling next to them. "Ryu, where's Captain Kenta?" Naruto asked him. Ryu pointed towards the crater, and his squad mates looked at him with wide eyes. They went to ask questions, but Ryu spoke up. "Now is not the time. Let's both concentrate. She's coming and we have to run." "What? Run and leave the captain?" "No way, I never back down." "Shut up, both of you," Ryu shouted to silence them both. Ryu never screamed. He was always quiet, always calm. "She is much stronger than her information says. We are just genin. She was playing with Captain Kenta and me the whole time." "But if we work together," Ryu interrupted Anna. "You're not getting it? She has at least a rank." A cold sweat invaded the experienced Anna, who had previously had encounters with strong ninjas. "What does it mean to be ranka?" Naruto asked, finally speaking. "I'll tell you about it when I get back to town." Naruto clenched his fist tightly. Cowart kept repeating that in his head. They climbed the surrounding cliff of the ravine, hoping to put some space between them and the cloud honey. They reached the top immediately and rushed towards the trees to return to the village. Rackham, a bolt of lightning struck Anna and made her convulse until she fell to the ground. "Did you think you could escape from me, little leaves?" Karukira and appeared in front of them and attacked Naruto with a so much that he had shifted his attention to Anna on the ground. "Pay attention, Naruto. Growler, you blocking the cut with his kyune." Naruto immediately responded and appeared next to her with a kyune prepared to stab, but was electrocuted when a lightning barrier surrounded her. Ryu jumped back past hand seals for a fire jutsu when both hands were removed and Sutanto's blood spilled to the ground. "To my hands!" She screamed in shock as she fell on her stomach from blood loss. "Wither and die the stained leaf," he said cheerfully, reveling in the pain it caused. "I don't even care about the bandits or what Shinai had planned. I'm just here to cause misery," she said with a giggle and a smile. "And now where's my next victim?" "What? Naruto, Anna is running." Ryu grabbed the cloud honey with his hands-free arms and had a paper bomb attached to his head.